Hello fellow gamers, it's your boy Zero Inc. and I'm back with another Kickshot angle discussion. Now, I'm calmed down now. I was a little upset at a certain comment that a developer made, and everyone says, oh, well, it's all in good fun, but when a developer calls a group of people ponies and calls their console of choice the bum station, I don't know, dude, that's when I start drawing the line. Insomniac Games wants to say what they want about Sony, but they wouldn't exist without Sony fans and Sony. Sweary65 wants to call it the bum station 4, but that same bum station 4 is kicking the shit out of your console of choice. But am I going to sit here and be like, oh, the Xbox fucking sucks, look at this, No, I'm not, because the Xbox doesn't suck. The fact that gamers would condone this from a developer is beyond me. The fact that they would condone their gaming community, calling different people names, the fact that they would be okay with that is beyond me. The gaming community used to be fun. I used to love to meet people online, and now I can't even stand anybody online. Everyone thinks they're the shit. Nobody is humble. Even the developers obviously aren't humble. If you don't know, this guy Sweary65, he decided to say all these port beggars, they want D4 on the bum station 4. And yeah, that might be funny to him. But here's the way I look at it. A group of people actually thought your game was good enough that they wanted it ported, and you insulted them. Whether you were joking or not joking, you insulted a group of people that actually liked the content you were making. So they were giving you props wanting it ported. Anybody who wants a game ported on either Xbox side or PlayStation side obviously likes the game enough to want it on their system. And not everyone can afford 2 systems. Not everyone can afford 3 systems if you get Nintendo also. I support Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. I try to support them every generation, all 3 of them. I primarily game on a PlayStation 4 right now, but the gaming community would call me a pony. They'd call me an idiot. They'd call me, the list goes on and on and on and on, and it makes me sick. It makes me sick to call myself a gamer when developers are calling a group of people ponies. Microsoft fans, and this is facts. I'm not bullshitting you here, okay? I'm gonna give it to you straight. Insomniac Games would not exist without Sony fans. You're welcome that they are around for Sunset Overdrive to be made. Without the beginnings, there is no new. And they started on Sony. Whether you want to believe that or not, they did. So you're welcome. D4, they actually acknowledged the game was good enough to be on PlayStation. And you guys insult the group of people that actually acknowledged the game. And Tomb Raider wouldn't exist without PC and PlayStation gamers. Would not exist right now without those gamers. You're welcome, Microsoft. You're welcome for 3 great developers that are still around today because Sony fans felt that their content was good enough to buy their stuff. Just like Nintendo gets sales all the time because their dedicated fans know. They know. I can't believe we live in a community that would give a 6.0 to a game that has that has more content than all the AAA titles that have come out this year. Yet you give Titanfall a 9. It's repetitive. In fact, it has nothing more than multiplayer. But Destiny gets a 6. Ghost, repetitive, was the exact same game as the game before it. And it got an 8. It got a 7. It got a 6. I've seen Destiny go down to 6.0, go down to 4.5, go down to... Here's the thing. They wanted something, didn't get it, gave a bad review. Rather than reviewing the content that's actually in it, which is what all reviewers should be doing anyway, to give the correct information. And I feel bad for the people who are waiting on the game and the people who return their game and have to buy it back once the expansions come out. Now, for those of you who don't know, the first expansion comes out in December. Just a month away. The 100 hours or so that everybody puts into Destiny, now, everyone's going to be done with. So that's 100 hours you got to put in to the first expansion, and then 100 hours to the expansion that comes out in December, all because of false information. And Destiny isn't the only game this has happened. You have reviewers that are purposely steering people away from games because of their own personal preference. Where are those actual reviews? Because I'm not seeing them. I'm seeing people jump on bandwagons. I'm seeing people give a shitty review just because they don't get what they want in a game. And that shouldn't be what the review's about. You should review the content within the game. Destiny had at least 8 to 10 hours of gameplay, which is more than Ghost, which is more than Battlefield. In terms of, I'm talking about campaign now. Multiplayer is just as good as those two. You have 10 multiplayer maps. You have 5 places you can go in the campaign. You have 5 strike missions. You have weekly, you have the daily. You have all these different shops you can go to. Yeah, all these games. Yeah, Titanfall came out with all that content. Remember? That was given a 9 out of 10. Yeah, Titanfall came out. Rise was the most repetitive game ever. Square, 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 square. QuickTime events. But that got an 8. That got a 9. That got voted best real-time graphics, didn't it? You see the difference here? But because Destiny wasn't what people wanted, they gave it a 6. And that's a biased review. That is a lie. That is a personal preference opinion. And if anything, it's a 7 at least. It has more content than any of the AAA titles that have come out. Yes, it's repetitive, but so is Rise. So is Second Son. So is Forza Horizon, which is a racing game that you do the same shit you've always done in. Madden is repetitive as hell. But all these games seem to get a pass. Destiny doesn't. Oh, well, the drops don't drop enough. Really? You want the drops to drop like Borderlands where you can max out your character? You would have maxed out your character in 2 days with drops like that. And you're already complaining it was too short. Does that make any sense? Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Biased reviews, people bitching about a game just to bitch about a game, jumping on the bandwagon, basically agreeing with everybody just to get clicks. Let's see, what else? Omissions, where they read something from the news and they'll leave out certain parts. Like the perfect example, there was a video, I'm not going to say names, that said Yoshida says only 4 out of 10 games sell on the PlayStation. He said only 4 out of 10 indie games sell on the PlayStation. So that means that 4 out of 10 indie games are gems that they make a lot of money off of. That was nowhere in the video that he said indie games. So omissions, flat out lies, clickbait, where they purposely dog on your system so you'll come click play to defend your system. What has the gaming community devolved into? You have developers insulting a group of people. You have a group of people sending death threats, and that's not just Sony. All you Xbox fanboys who think it's just Sony need to look in a fucking mirror. Xbox fans, Sony fans, and Nintendo fans have all sent death threats to developers, have all done it at some point. Nintendo a lot less than the other two, but you get what I'm saying. Everyone thinks they're the best in the world. You have rage quitters who quit because they can't beat the game. You have cheaters who purposely look for glitches. You have trolls who purposely fuck up another person's game just because he has nothing to do better with his life than to fuck up somebody else's experience. And people laugh at this. People think it's funny. This gaming community used to be sacred. This kind of shit frustrates me because there's no cause for it. None. And people think it's funny. We should not allow this kind of action from developers, from the community itself, from anybody. Words can hurt people mentally and emotionally. People are steering people away from experiences just because it's not their own personal preference. And this is bullshit. This is bullshit. And it makes me very, very sad because we all had each other's back. We were all doing something that wasn't part of the mainstream. We all had each other's back, and now we don't. That's all I have to say. Shit like this needs to stop. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.